Okay. Can you guys hear me back there well enough? We're good? Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. I guess we're waiting on just a few more people, but they can have the front row seats. And then I can pick on them the whole time. They can hold my penis. I'm just kidding. It has glitter on it and has a nice purple tattoo. Anyway, it'll be nice. Okay, hopefully I won't give you lots of feedback as far as, I'm going to give you good feedback sexually, but not feedback with the sound system. So if I do that, I apologize. Anyway, just by way of introduction, my name is Melissa Jones. I'm a sexologist from San Antonio, and I just want to start by thanking the Blue Boutique for allowing me to come and be here tonight. They are fantastic to me, and I really appreciate everything that they do to support me in being here. Just so you know what a sexologist is, I am not a sex therapist, and I'm not a counselor. I do not blame everything on your mom. So in that way, I'm very different. Basically, I'm an adult sex educator. I have my PhD in sex education, basically. So I got my degree from UNLV, and I have the privilege of helping people just basically learn about sex. So I have couples that will come to me who want to know how to have the mojo in their marriage again or spice things up. Women who've never orgasmed will come to me and want to learn how to orgasm. And I've had women, I have one woman in particular who was 72 who had never orgasmed, and we helped her learn how to do that. I have one client who was 54 that just had the privilege of orgasming just about a week and a half ago. So different things with women and their issues. Women who have painful sex, vaginismus, vulvodynia. Men who have problems with erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, low testosterone, things like that we help them overcome. And then, of course, you can imagine a combination of those things that maybe couples will encounter together, and so we help overcome those issues together as couples. So I get to have the privilege then of finding lots of fun sex toys and books and all those fun things to help couples enhance their marriage. So, and with that, I have also kind of that LDS background because I am active in the Mormon church still. I just have to put that out there because people ask that all the time. When I was getting my PhD, I was actually the stake young women president. I've since been released. Now I'm a visiting teaching supervisor. I was in the taught Sunday school, but I think my bishop thought I was a little too irreverent. And so when our board split, he released me, and now I'm a visiting teaching supervisor. But he has asked me to teach a marriage enrichment class for Valentine's Day, so he must not think I'm too bad. So we'll see. He may not like it after I teach class. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But a funny side story, and then I'll get going. I ordered some little warming these cute little heart hand warmers to give as handouts, and they all came in the mail last week, and my husband opened them, and he said, "What are these for?" I said, "Oh, they're my handouts for church. I'm going to give them to all the women." And he looked totally shocked, and he said, you can't do that." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Those are massagers." And I said, "No, they just warm up." And he said, "No, they're massagers." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "They vibrate." And I said, "No, honey, not everything that has the word massager on it vibrates." And he said, "Oh, okay." But he really thought I was going to take vibrating massagers to church. He was super worried for me. So I had to explain that just because it had the word massage does not mean it vibrates. So anyway, so tonight we're going to talk about where'd the mojo go and how to get that back. And then there's going to be some time afterwards for question and answer. So if you have any questions, raise your hand, ask, yell, scream, whatever you want. All right? So just to kind of begin with, we're going to talk a little bit about the best relationships and what they combine, and that's friendship and eroticism, the intimacy and that companionship. And I just want you to think back, when you first start dating someone that eventually you marry or you're in a long-term relationship with, when you're first dating that person, you can't wait to be with them. You're just so excited, and you have the butterflies, and you're away from them even 10 minutes, and you just think, "Oh, it's been so long. It's been hours and hours and hours, and I can't wait to see that person." That's that intimacy, that eroticism. And then you kind of get into a pattern, and that friendship kind of, melds everything together. And hopefully you don't get stuck in that friendship pattern. And sometimes that's when I get couples, is when they've fallen into that friendship pattern of, I really like you. I love you as my best friend, but I'm not sure I'm in love with you. And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight, is making sure that you can keep that I'm in love with you, that passionate love, that intimacy in the relationship, and how to keep things spicy in the relationship. All right? So where does intimacy fit in the relationship? Because we have work, we have kids, we have social media, Facebook, your phones, iPads, iPhones, all that good stuff, and friends and family. So I want you to think about your own relationship and where does your partner fit in. And hopefully your relationship, your marriage, comes very first, because it should. And one big mistake I see a lot is that the relationship doesn't come first, and I think that's a big mistake. I think that it should come first. It really should. And I think that the best thing that you can teach your children, if you do have children, is that your partner, your spouse, whatever they might be, is the number one thing, and that you will do anything to make sure that that works. Because then when you teach that to your children, that's what they're going to look for in a relationship also. It's really interesting too. I put social media on here for a good reason. I will have people come in to see me, and we'll talk about the importance of putting each other first in the relationship and how we can work on it. And we'll talk about the importance of scheduling time for each other. And when I get to social media, and specifically like Facebook, your phone, putting those things away, some people are so resistant to that. They can put everything away, but when it comes to putting away their iPads, their iPhones, to spend time with each other, they can't. It's like cutting off their hand. It's really, really hard for them to be able to do that. That's harder than work, family, church, whatever it might be, is putting away that social media. So that's something just to maybe be aware of. And I thought I was okay with that until this week, I went out to dinner with, my daughter Madeline's here, and I went out to dinner with her and met one of her friends. It's not her boyfriend, but her friend that's a boy. And she said, Mom, whatever you do, don't get on your phone. And I said, why? And she said, you're always on your phone. And I thought, I am? And I thought I was good. I tell people this all the time. Don't get on your phone, don't get on your phone, spend time with your family. And so I had to think about it, and I thought, oh, I guess I am. And so even me, who tells people all the time, oh, keep that in check, I have a problem with it. So I had to call my family in Texas, and I said, okay, I'm going to dinner with Madeline. I'm off the grid for an hour and a half. No one call me. If you need me, don't call. And I had to put my phone and my iPad and everything away. Well, the funny thing happened, everyone called Madeline to try and find me and try and find my mom, because my mom was there with us. And so I realized, oh gosh, we really have a big problem with this. So keep that in mind with your relationships. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about the 6 challenges to intimacy. And just think about what the word intimacy means for a minute, because sometimes people have a different meaning of intimacy and in their context, what intimacy might mean. And intimacy, too, to men and women means different things. For example, men, a lot of times, when they think of intimacy, they immediately go right to sex, right? For them, intimacy is sex. I need my love bucket filled by sex. Where for women, intimacy a lot of times more can be the cuddling and the holding each other and the romance, right? And so we can have communication breakdown even just there with what the word intimacy means. So you have to start with basic communication sometimes on what the word intimacy means. But a lot of times, intimacy, to begin with, has to just involve basic trust and honesty. It has to have that. So if trust and honesty are broken in a relationship, you have to build that back up to be able to have complete intimacy in a relationship. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges. And also, just so you know, there's usually 4 components to intimacy. And the first is love or affection. Then personal validation. You want to know the other person validates your feelings and takes care of you. And then, of course, the trust. And then the last is self-disclosure, that you can tell the other person your deepest thoughts and your deepest, feelings, emotions, life, dreams, those kinds of things, okay?